So why on earth would Alex have a heart next to LAFC, the team that he week in and week out routinely talks shit about?
Thank you for listening to West Box Score. I'm Alex Gonzalez, joined once again by Sonny Hermano, Dono Paz. What's up, gentlemen?
Yo, what's good, man?
What up?
Man, still riding high off that Dodger blue heaven that we're floating on, that Dodger blue cloud. First championship, 32 years. Man, does it get any sweeter than that? I'm still hacked. Still happy.
Unreal to learn that 20 players have tested positive since then.
Right now, at this point, we have Justin Turner positive. Everybody else is false positives. I'm going to say everybody else is false positives. So after that high of the Dodgers win, we have to look back now on the down that was at Trafico, because that was down for me and Donald. Sonny,
was it a down for you? Was it a down for you, Alex? I don't know, man.
Go. There is controversy brewing on this game, on this whole thing, but we'll get to the actual result of El Trafico here. LAFC 2, quotation marks, 2. LA Galaxy 0, nothing, no offense. That's because the start DP, Chicharito, number 14, was busy playing Call of Duty, and he couldn't make it out to the pitch.
Did he get injured? Did he injure his finger? I'm trying to understand why he pulled something.
I think when you get killed, when you don't really want to get killed in that game, you kick at a couch, and maybe he injured his shin. Maybe that's what happened, you know. Okay. I mean, at least say you're busy, you know, on paternity leave still. I mean, that's respectable, although Ensuna was still out there doing his thing. 2-0 win for LAFC. Sonny, was it a 2-0 win or was it a 1-0 win?
The score sheet said 2-0, man. It could have easily have been 5-0 the way I saw it. So,
wow. What game were you watching?
There were 3 posts that saved you in this game.
That is true.
And I think Chicharito got wind that Carlos Vela was making his return in this game and was like, "Oh shit, hamstrings, guy. I can't play. No go for me." So it was 2-0, man. It was a solid victory. Felt good. But please don't let me get in the way of what was the game that was what you guys call El Trafico.
Oh, what we call it Trafico, because once again, not approved by LAFC.
Not
branding,
my name.
So.
Not my name.
Hashtag not your Darby.
Not my Darby. Yeah.
I mean, man, I was hyped for this game. I sent you guys the old Saturday selfie before I take the shot of the whiskey, because if you notice, I really wanted to take a picture. I should have taken a bottle of the glass. That glass was halfway full of whiskey because I knew it was going to be a tough one. I had a glass full of, halfway full of proper 12 whiskey. Shout out to Conor McGregor. Because I felt like I got choked out by Khabib later in this Trafico match because, man, I knew it was going to be rough, but I think it was going to be this rough. Just no offense whatsoever. No creativity by this LA Galaxy offense whatsoever. Just didn't know where they were going. I think this is really indicative more so of the coaching. Donald, what do you think? What went wrong with this LA Galaxy performance in El Trafico?
Yeah, they just looked really flat. And it's surprising to see the Galaxy look this flat on an El Trafico, given that it's El Trafico. Like, you would think if there's going to be one team where it's like all hands on deck, and if anything, everybody would have the same goal of kind of hustling and be creative and go out there and play for the badge and all that, it would be this one. And it was interesting that it almost felt like they kind of checked out them probably before they even got there. And like you said, no creativity. It was just really horrible. But at the same time, if you've been watching the Galaxy in the past couple games, that's literally how they've looked for the past maybe 2-3 games, I want to say. I just was hoping it wasn't going to carry over to this one because this is LAFC. And it's like you would need to put up your best, out there for LAFC, and it just was weird that they kind of made it seem like, no, it's not LAFC we're playing, Colorado Rapids or something, and it's like, come on now. So it was just terrible, and and I guess I could say I was expecting something like that. But as far as the turn of events, I wasn't expecting like a red card and all that. So it just felt like the wheels had just come off from the get-go, to me. So yeah.
In the words, I could quote a couple different people here, but yes,
Please.
it was disappointing to not. The Galaxy didn't even show up for this game, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is normally, in the words of Mark Anthony Kaye, this is their World Cup.
Oh, God, fuck.
And they didn't even show up to it. It was disappointing, man. I mean, literally, they did not show up to it. Chicharito was nowhere to be found in this game. He did not show up. And in the words of, rest in peace, Denny Green, they are who we thought they are.
Yeah.
We let y'all beat us. We let you off the hook. We let you off the hook.
You saying let?
We let you off the hook, and we let you guys embarrass us, really, in one of the two Traficos.
Okay.
I'll forgive the second one because, again, speaking of a Mark Anthony Kaye loss is cool when LAFC was dominating that game, and then he loses his cool, gets a stupid red card, a reckless challenge, and that was it. It was a wrap. Galaxy put it away. This game was not the same. Even though LA Galaxy got a red card, they were creating zero chances, zero opportunities, so there was no threat of LA Galaxy even being a partner in this dance.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So
bring it on.
So
dance your dance right now.
I mean, it's a little
dance your victory dance.
We had a little side bet before the season started on who was going to go further this season. I won't disclose exactly how much that was for the audience, but yeah, man, I think some paychecks were on the line for this bet, and it felt nice. It was like to draw back on the Dodgers analogy that where we covered, and if you haven't heard that episode, go check it out where we recap what happened and how the Dodgers recap. But I think, Alex, you had referenced, you knew that when Mookie Betts hit that home run in the eighth inning, you knew it was over, right?
Right.
Same thing happened in this match, man.
I think you're right.
Same thing happened in this
match. The dagger in the LA Galaxy season.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
The moment we wrapped this game up, it was, all right, we're heading to the playoffs. They're about to blow their whole team up. Good luck. We'll see you guys next season.
I mean, as we're rolling on this episode, the Galaxy have yet to play their Wednesday night game against Portland, which I expect to be another 0-point result for our LA Galaxy, Donald. I don't see them turning things around right now. I see them playing things out until they can make a coaching change and some DP changes. I mean, last thing we heard is that Boca Juniors still wants $20 million for Christian Pavon, which is ridiculous.
Pay him.
Pay him, right? I mean, AEG's got so much money.
Come on.
I mean, Access has so much money.
Come
Let's pay him over. No, I don't think they should pay Christian Pavon $20 million. I think they should, let him walk. Hopefully, find a way to come to terms with the two other star DPs on their roster. Number CH14 at CH14 on Twitch and also JDS Jonathan Dos Santos, because man, he's just not the same since the injury. Something's up with him, and I just think you got to cut ties now, and you got to revamp this entire team, head coaching, everybody, man. You got to clean house.
Yeah. Well, Donald, the AG president was at the game, was at El Trafico, and I saw that shot.
He was at the game previously too.
Was he?
Won. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw that when they took the shot of him, it just looked like kind of obvious that he kind of looked.
Why
am
I here?
I'm here because obviously I've gotten reports that this team's horrible, and I kind of finally want to figure out what's going on here.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes you think like, yeah, there is going to be a change coming to this club. When I saw Dan Beckerman, I was like, is that Dan Beckerman? That looks like him. I Googled him. I was like, yeah, that's him. And we'll see what happens, man. I know that guy doesn't really have a great reputation because he took over. He's in charge of the Kings and the Galaxy.
Right.
And both the Kings and the Galaxy have been pretty horrible the past couple of seasons.
Oh yeah.
And it a lot of it, I think you can kind of see the common denominator is the fact that he's the one that's kind of making the shots and, general managers and all that stuff. So why haven't you gotten the right people to build the right team? Like a trickle down effect. But I'm assuming if he showed up to the game, it means that he cares. So hopefully that's what it means. And that, you know what I mean? And that for the sake of his job, that like he turned something around because, man, it's just insane seeing it. I know a couple of weeks ago, you guys asked me about like the Galaxy, and I had told you, I'm okay with the season kind of being.
Yeah, you threw the white flag in a couple.
Yeah,
like it was
said
just
you were on the way to the airport.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just never a fan of like my team getting into the playoffs as the 8th seed. Because it just means that you're gonna get you get excited for what? To get eliminated by the first in the first round. So
Donald, are we forgetting the 2012 LA Kings?
Well, that's
the only 8th
that
seed.
That was the
Stanley
outlier. But that was I did not expect that. It was crazy to see that unfold. But I guess I just wasn't.
Though.
It does
Come on,
happen.
Donald.
It does happen. But I just was being very pessimistic in that moment.
The New York Giants won the Super Bowl as a wild card team.
That's
I
true.
know.
You gotta hashtag believe, dude.
Yeah, I know what you're saying though, Donald. I know what you're saying.
The odds are not in the favor of
You're right.
the 8th
You're
seed.
just
But,
being a realist.
outside of that, I just feel like
Sonny, would you want your Seattle Mariners to make the playoffs as a wild card team?
1,000% yes. I would want my Mariners to make it as a wild card team. I don't care if we get Minnesota Twins swept out of the playoffs.
Just get there. That's all you want. A puncher's chance.
Just get there. Now, if you were to ask me though, if we were to get in, but it meant we were going to get swept by maybe like the Angels, then I'd have to take a long, hard look and be like, okay, maybe we sit this playoffs out, and I'll lose to any other team but that team. But no, for the Mariners, it's a no-brainer.
I'll say this, they're riding high off the Dodgers World Series championship.
Yeah.
Fuck the Angels.
Yeah. Pour a little liquor out for the freeway. The team on the other side of the freeway there.
Spank that rally monkey, light up that halo. Dodgers 2020 World Series champs. As we continue
with
the LA Galaxy.
So, yeah, but I get where Donald's coming from because this Galaxy team, as currently constituted, is hot trash. And if they got in as an 8th seed, it would not.
They wouldn't do anything.
There's no magic in there, So I totally get where Donald's coming from. I think if you had a Zlatan as the 8th seed, hey, puncher's chance, right? Maybe that guy has a little bit of magic, and not that there's 8 seeds that actually make it. We're misleading our listeners here because there's not 8 teams that make it in the MLS.
7.
Is it 7 now? I thought it was.
Yeah, it's 1.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They
6.
just changed that.
Yeah, it used to be 1 and 6. Yeah,
it used to be 6
7,
teams, but now it's 7 teams. So if you had maybe like a playmaker or creator like a Zlatan, hey, puncher's chance. You never know. Ride that magic until you.
Well, that's our $20 million man, Christian Pavon.
Yeah. Spend that money, man, please.
Donald, I go back to you again because we cut you off as you were riding off on the Galaxy. You did not mind them to make it. As
please continue.
No, I already made it. I left the airport a long time ago, and now I'm already.
So what do you think the Galaxy need to do then to be better next year and maybe make the playoffs as a 6th seed or even better seeded playoff team?
I would start with the defense. If we're just talking about the roster, I would start with the defense because to get a clean sheet means a lot. And if you can get a defense that can stop goals from coming in, that'd be a huge help. It seems like this team has only focused on the offense, the attacking, and it's fun to see goals go in, and that's great. Like I'm not saying it's not, but it's like it's been too long since this team has had a real defense that just made you feel good that they can at least give problems to the other team's offense. So I would start with the defense for sure. Maybe a good center back, a solid center back. I do like from the current guys that are there, I do like Araujo. But yeah, the rest of that back end, Steres and all them guys, I'm okay with them moving on. And then I would say from the defense and up, and then maybe work the midfield, maybe get someone solid there. But yeah, I would not want to go for another striker that's probably some big international star too. Like, it's just, I feel like that we gotta kind of already stop with that stuff.
You wouldn't to bring in an international star for the center back, maybe head out PK.
Yeah, no, I would. That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess if you had to go with a DP, yeah, like get one for the defense. Like, I would want a good defensive guy. So,
hey, let me tell you now, Vela shredded Piqué in the Spanish league when they both played there back then. So, please sign Piqué to the Galaxy, because it's a that much older Piqué, and Vela's, we've seen, is comfortable in the MLS. So
yes, that's funny. I just want BK on the Galaxy so we can see Shakira at Dignity Health Sports Park.
She's gonna be like, babe, I thought you told me we were gonna be in LA. She's gonna be
damn, dude, Sonny's such a jerk.
Hey, I was going to say, for Donald, when he said I was on the other side of the airport, I was going to say, don't worry, dude. Alex knows a secret portal that you can cross into and come over to the dark side and show you the path and the way to LAFC fandom. Right, Alex?
Here
Am I right,
go.
Alex?
So
because tell Donald about this portal, man. I know you know where it is. Tell him how to find his way home, just like you did.
Okay,
Tell
so
him.
we won't get into the nitty-gritty details of how Sonny found my ESPN.com login, but he was logged in to my ESPN.com account. And what happened when you were in that account, Sonny?
Well, as I tend to do, of course, I still am very old school. I go to ESPN.com or Bleacher Report for some of my live updates or recaps of some of the games that went on. And this happened to be a particular Sunday when I logged on, and I think I wanted to go read like the box score on the 49ers game against the Patriots. And normally when I'm logged into my ESPN profile, of course, the 49ers are set as my favorite team. So I go, and to my surprise, the Rams are jumping out in front of me. I said, what the fuck's going on here?
That ESPN update worked out for you, huh?
So I said, wait a minute. And so then the light bulb went on. I said, oh, son of a bitch, I'm still logged into Alex's account.
Right.
So, of course, if anybody's familiar with the website, you go and you log out. But as you go to log out, it instantly lists all of your custom favorite teams, meaning you had to go and manually put a heart, a nice little big red heart next to the team so that ESPN knows to show you what's happening with your favorite teams.
Absolutely, my absolute favorite team.
And I'm there, and of course, what sticks out to me is the ugliness that is it says the LA Rams, and it says, the LA Dodgers, whatever. It says,
that's obviously some flaw in the system.
It says the Lakers. I'm going down the list, and to my surprise, I see LAFC is on the list. And I say, wait a minute. I say, hold up.
Why is Galaxy and the LAFC on?
Correct. To your credit, I did also see Galaxy. And I said, wait, maybe Alex is just like such a troll that he likes to follow what's going on with all his most hated rivals, right? That's the only explanation, right?
The only.
However, there was no Clippers love on this favorites. And we all know how much you hate the Clippers.
Because I don't watch the D-League.
There was no Anaheim Angels love in here. And we all know, as you just reminded folks, how much you...
One more time. Hold on. Fuck the Angels.
Correct. So it was odd to me. There was no UCLA Bruin love. You're a Trojans fan. It was odd to me, man. No Anaheim Ducks. You're a Keens fan.
Oh, I can't stand the Anaheim
So
Ducks.
why on earth would Alex have a heart next to LAFC?
What could be the logical
team that he week in and week out routinely talks shit about.
as the audience knows, as you constantly remind them of, I am a new MLS and football fan. They know this. I have not hidden this from anybody. So from being an original 96 watcher of the MLS and watching Galaxy, but then obviously leaving because I'm not super into football, and then kind of coming back during the Beckham days, but then still not even being super into it. I'll fully admit to that. But then when LAFC came around, it's like, oh, now there's an actual rivalry going on. Now I'm interested. And then watching them go at it, and even being a Tri fan, knowing that Vela's there in LAFC, but just seeing that swagger of the Galaxy and Zlatan, I'm like, well, I've kind of always watched Galaxy, but I've never fully committed to them. When I signed up for the ESPN account, let me see what both these teams are into. And it wasn't until that I fully committed to Galaxy that I forgot to unfollow LAFC.
Forgot.
Yes,
is the operative word here. I have a different picture to paint for the fans out there, for the listeners out there. Okay, here's the theory.
You're gonna offer an alternative fact.
Here's the theory. Here's the theory that I'm working on. That's more closer to the truth. Okay, we'll let Donald be.
What I just said wasn't the truth.
We'll let Donald be the judge here.
Wasn't the truth.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Alex.
Please.
Before you were a LA Rams fan.
Yes, okay, go ahead.
You were a San Francisco 49ers fan.
Yes, a strong follower.
Correct me. Okay, the answer was yes. Correct me if I'm wrong. Since becoming an LA Rams fan, all you do, well, not all you do, but part of what you do is talk shit on or hate on the 49ers. Right? Your previous love, your first love, dare I say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alex has a history of flip-flopping here, and knowing where his allegiance. He's always
John Kerry over here.
He's always claimed to have an allegiance for the teams of LA, right? Well, let me point out on a map for everybody that the Galaxy do not play in LA. They play in Carson. Let me tell you who does play in LA. There's a team by the name of Los Angeles Football Club, aka LAFC, that plays in LA. So I've just connected all of these dots for you.
Thank you.
You tell me, folks. You tell me, folks. It sounds like Alex is part of the 3252. I'm just breaking it here. Donald, what say you? What say you? How can you defend your boy here, who has sworn by the Galaxy?
Donald does not have to defend
Donald,
me, though.
Defend your boy here.
It's not for Donald to defend. It's not for him to defend.
Hey, it's like me. Anything. It's my account, no, you grow.
And I'll defend
it's
myself
like anything.
Here.
So you didn't have siblings. You don't know how this works. But when there's three, that's why you have three. There's always a tiebreaker. So, Donald, defend your boy.
It's not on Donald to defend. I won't put Donald in that spot to even have to defend me. It's my account.
Is Alex a ride or die Galaxy fan, or do you question his allegiance? Is he
okay? If he wants to question my Galaxy allegiance, that's a whole different question.
Is he finicky
that's
here?
That's fair.
Is
he doesn't
finicky?
need to defend me.
No, let the man speak.
I feel like
Alex.
He's a ride or die Galaxy fan. You know,
boom.
I think he knows. You know.
As much as you want to recruit me to your 3253 now, as much as you want to add me to your 3252, I'm not a free agent. I've signed a lifetime contract.
Donald.
LA Galaxy, true G for life.
I'm trying to warn. I'm like the fan here sitting ringside saying, "Babyface, don't do it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it." Because I guarantee you, Alex and I are going to come in matching jerseys. Alex and I are going to come up in matching jerseys one of these days when LAFC are about to win the title, and we're gonna do DX suck it sides to you, and you're gonna feel like
that Mike Tyson heel turn at WrestleMania, huh?
And you're just gonna be like, "What?
Nah, man.
I never saw this coming," and I'll be like, "I warned you, Donald. I warned you."
Oh man, I love that. You know where to get me with the wrestling analogies, goddammit. And as much as I want to do a heel turn, And turn on Galaxy, I just can't. Man. That's my team now. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I was on the fence.
You are the China to my Triple H.
The China to your Triple H. Nice, dude. I wish I had those biceps, dude. God damn it, she had those biceps, bro.
Oh man. Anyways,
China, man.
For the audience, stay tuned. Donald and I are working on a special little package to post on social media that will show the evidence and explain that we're not making this up. All right.
No, this is all true, man. I will not deny this. I will not deny this. I'm a lot of things. Liar is not one of them. I will not lie on this. This is all true. Oh man, but LAFC, man, good on you guys. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, you would congratulate us. Uh-huh.
Oh, here we go. Goddamn sons of bitch. Big win for them. Galaxy riding out the next few games till they start the rebuild. Moving on from football to American football now. The NFL Rams got a big Monday Night Football win over the Chicago Bears, 24-10. The Rams looked good. They came back strong after Aaron Donald said that they looked soft in their rivalry game against your 49ers, Sonny, which they did. Credit to your 49ers, big win. Still a big win, but the Rams never got anything going, a lot like the Galaxy, as we were talking about. Credit to a strong 49ers
credit
team.
To our 49ers, Alex.
To your 49ers team. My LA Rams get back in the win column there against the Chicago Bears. Big 24-10 win. Donald, your Chargers were in action against the Jacksonville Jaguars. How'd they do?
They did really great. They won a game, second win of the season. So that was really great. I think that it's good for Justin Herbert. I'm really happy that he got one because he's so good. Definitely the guy of the future for this franchise if he stays healthy. But they definitely got a QB now. So it was good to see for as impressive as he's been the past couple of games. And I'm sure he's been like a fantasy stud for those that have him. It just sucks to not have a win with all that performance that he's given. So now there's a win there, and that feels really good. And hopefully they roll this on for the rest of the season. That'd be great. I kind of, at times I get very pessimistic about the team, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, they're not going to make anything. But you know what? Like, I really do believe they have a shot at the wild card for sure. So that'll be fun to see if they can actually get there. I would love to see Justin Herbert already in a playoff game. So yeah, man, really big win. Definitely a win needed from the team coming off a bye and having a bad couple of games before that bye. So that was really huge. I know it's just the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were 1-5, and now they're 1-6. So nothing crazy to celebrate. But obviously, when you're 1-4, you take what you can get. So
win's a win, man.
They did good. I know next couple of weeks it'll be a little tough for them. 2 divisional games back to back. So divisions are just always tough, man. No matter how good or bad the teams are.
Don't I know? We play in a tough division ourselves, and the LA Rams do. Sonny, your Rams your 49ers are also in that same division. How'd they do?
Oh boy, they dominated back-to-back weeks, man. It was a beautiful thing to see. First they exposed the Rams last week. Exposed the Rams, and then they undressed the Patriots and the Bill Belichick way.
Hey, man, let's keep this podcast safe for work here.
I'm just calling it what it is, man.
Exposing, undressing, Jesus Christ.
The end of the dynasty, man.
West Box Score after dark.
That's right. They, it was a solid performance. I'll give Donald, just try to hang on to this perspective, right? If the Chargers were in the NFC East, they'd be in first place.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that as my Niners are 4-3 in last place in the NFC West, which is
deservedly so.
Which is crazy.
Which is deservedly
crazy.
So.
I think we all can agree that the NFL should just eliminate the NFC East from any playoff spots and
should get relegated.
exactly, and allow the remaining 3 divisions to get the 7 spots. But no, honestly, I like the way they've been playing. So far, 2 for 2 on this tough schedule that was ahead of us. We still can't shake off the injury bug. It's like another man up mentality, which is on the one hand awesome to see, but on the other hand frustrating that it's another man up, and then until he goes down, and then what? So we got the Seahawks next, which is going to be a huge game. But I like the way we're playing, man. So again, as I've said for the first few weeks, still a lot of football left.
Yeah, that Seahawks Cardinals game was pretty intense.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shoot! I think the Cardinals pulled it off by a field goal. But man, that overtime. Just tells you too, like all those 4 teams are just going to be hard to beat when they play each other, and also like if any other team has to face the NFC West.
I think the hope for all the other NFC teams is that the NFC West just beats up each other. Yeah, that they literally limp out of whoever survives, and then whatever team in the North or South catches the limpy team.
Right.
Yeah.
On the other hand,
and that's the hope. But I always like to think that iron sharpens iron, and that team comes out stronger, and it's going to dominate that other team when they play the teams in other divisions. Like the NFC West team is going to be so strong that when they play the NFC East teams, they just eat them up, like the Rams have been doing against those NFC East teams.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And on the AFC side, it's just been the Steelers, 6-0, undefeated. They just look like they're killing every team they face. The Bills look good. Obviously, it's kind of crazy to see how much of a threat they look like, even though they're hard to believe.
Yeah, I think the Bills and the Bears are frauds, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah, I could see the Bears. The Bears, I'm not buying into them. The Bills, I kind of do a little bit. Yeah. I feel like if it's the right situation, they can pull it off. But yeah, on the AFC side, it's just the Steelers that I would be scared to face.
Baltimore.
And I don't know who else. Like maybe the Titans, because they have a great defense. Like the Titans have a great defense.
What about the Ravens?
And the Ravens, yeah. Lamar's just getting better and better. Yeah. I mean, the first season he had, the Chargers beat them in the playoffs. And that's just because that's, the rookie learning. But now the rookie's no longer that. He's like a legit guy. MVP. And obviously you can never count out Kansas City. Kansas City's just in our division. So we always play them close because they're in our division. But man, I just, when I think of the other AFC teams from the other divisions, it's like, well, we don't see the Steelers, so we don't know how that's going to look,
Yeah.
So.
Very anti-Kansas City Chiefs because of their fans. We got to look out for the Tampa team that just signed
that's right.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, Tampa Bay's doing pretty good, too.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts over there now, huh? The Rays came up a little bit short, but that Tampa Bay Bucks team is going to show a lot of potential there in the NFC South. Do they have what it takes, though, to take over the Saints? No?
Yeah. To take over the Saints.
Their defense is pretty good with Nurmagomedov. So
yeah.
I missed Nurmagomedov.
Yeah.
Former
LA
he was
Ram. A big piece of that 2018 team.
I love his son, he just shakes it off. He played for one season.
For one season.
Hey, man. Former Ram is a former Ram here. He played the one season. My inaugural season there as an LA Rams fan. Never forget. Hashtag never forget.
You're like the sports
What
fan.
are my original Rams?
Dude, were you born in 1983 or 2003?
I'm a new LA Rams fan. I'm new.
You're a new Galaxy
it's
fan.
It's my first day. It's my first day.
You're a new Galaxy fan. You're a new Rams fan. You're a new LAFC fan. What else?
Wait, what? what? You think I'm just not going to catch that? I deny all LAFC fans. Yeah. Denounce it all. So next week, be sure to check out Rams versus they go to Miami to take on the Dolphins, who are 3-3, 10 a.m. on Fox Sunday there. Your Chargers, Donald, taking on the Denver Broncos divisional game there. Both teams 2-4. The Chargers going to get it done?
They should. They have the better quarterback. I think they have the better defense. Obviously, playing in Denver is always tough because of the altitude. But they should get it done, man. But then again, it's divisional, so it's always tough. But they should be able to take care of the Broncos. I think from the division, the only teams I feel are going to be head-to-head, which the following Sunday after this one, they're playing the Raiders. So it's like back to back, and the Raiders actually look pretty good this season. Like they kind of almost pulled it out with the Bucks. The Bucks just kind of like really killed them towards the end. But but the Raiders
got destroyed by the Patriots.
That's true. That's true too. But I remember, I forgot who they played that they just did really well against.
They beat the Saints. They beat the Saints, which was impressive. They beat the Chiefs.
Oh, they beat Kansas City.
They beat the Chiefs.
Yeah,
and but they got.
I think the Chiefs win.
They got murdered by the Patriots. So it's hard. It's a team that's hard to read still.
Yeah, but that I feel like I think that game's gonna be more competitive than this one. I feel this one, the Chargers having a firepower to take care of it.
Donald predicting the blowout. Yeah, I like it.
That's just what I see.
See, that's Donald I like.
Shot.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
This is what happens when we get later into the podcast. Donald just lets loose on his predictions.
That's the Donald I like. Yeah, I
gives zero.
We'll edit this for later, but earlier before we started, I called you out for front running on the Dodgers when you're shit talking, because I was like, Donald only talks shit when things are going really well for the Dodgers. I was like, I gotta call him out for that shit. But then you came in modest, and I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna call him out for it. He's being modest. It was Alex who was freaking.
He had a trap laid for you.
Yeah,
you didn't take the
but you didn't take the bait, so I was like, he gets a pass. He did good. But I told him I like when you're ballsy before shit pops off, because it's like, yeah, like predict that
Call
shit.
your shit.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's why I didn't want to make any bets with you prior to this game, because as much as I wanted things to happen, and like I was thinking they would play out, I don't know. This fucking Dodger team.
Yeah.
Anything could happen with them.
Yeah.
Dodgers 2020 World Series champs. I love it. It doesn't get old. Sonny, your Niners are also playing this Sunday. Who are they taking on?
It's the game of the week, man. Niners versus Seahawks.
You get to hear more Joe Buck.
Oh, I don't know if Joe Buck will be actually calling the game, but in my mind,
it's the game of the week.
In my mind, it's the game of the week. I'm sure on paper it's the game. It's got to be the game of the week. Come on, Niners, Seahawks. It's the greatest
NFC
rivalry.
West is the big division.
I mean, that's one of the best rivalries of the last 10 years. So,
Richard Sherman, man.
Yeah, except he won't be playing in this game.
Right. When they ran the ball.
Yeah.
I always forget that.
Michael Crabtree. Right. Yeah. Don't remind me. Yeah. That's when I have mixed feelings about Richard Sherman. I love him. Man. I love him now, but I hated him back then. So it should be a good game, man. I'm looking forward to it. 1:25 p.m. kickoff. I think.
That's right. On Fox.
Yep.
With Joe Buck.
I think it's the game of the week, actually. Yeah.
It should be. It should actually. I mean, we talked about this in our group chat about why Dodger fans hate Joe Buck, and the hate for Joe Buck is not because he's anti-Dodgers. Because right now, as a national broadcaster, he doesn't seem to be anti-Dodgers. He's always that front runner of whoever MLB sees as that favorite to win the World Series. He talks them up. So when the Dodgers were not the favorite and it was more like the St. Louis Cardinals, he was constantly, the St. Louis Cardinals can do no wrong against this Dodger team. So it was always, Dodger fans always had that hate for him. We never forget that he was always anti-Dodger.
Yeah, but what do you want from your national TV play-by-play guy?
I don't know. Consistency.
It was always that Dodgers fans were in their feelings anytime Joe Buck would call a game, and that's why it was, to me, always like unfair. Because as a neutral, I'd be like, y'all are just being little bitches about this shit. You know what I mean? Like Joe Buck's not doing a bad job here. Like he's
no, I agree.
Yeah, so
he's a decent commentator. He's a decent player. He's a really good player. Actually, in all fairness, he's a really good play-by-play guy.
And he's funny sometimes.
Sometimes
he's funny
with
his dry humor. It's like, I see what Joe Buck said there. But anyways, yeah.
But yeah, sorry, we digress about Joe Buck talk because we touched on it a little bit in the group chat.
There.
Yeah. But enjoy your game of the week with even more Joe Buck after this World Series.
What result do you want as a Rams fan, knowing that the Seahawks are still in first, or you're a game behind the Seahawks, and knowing that we're a game behind you guys? What's the result you're wanting as a Rams fan?
I want the Rams to win, and I don't care what you guys do. All I want is for my Rams to continue to do what they do, and whatever happens in the division, let it play out until we play you guys. And that's what I want.
Okay.
I just want my Rams to
You
continue.
mean there's a legit chance you guys can swoop into first place if we take care of business?
If it happens, it happens.
Okay.
I can't root for either of you guys. At this point, I can't root for either you two teams.
I mean,
You guys
you've
both
rooted
suck.
for one of those teams before, so you could.
There it is. There it is, rearing its ugly head. As we wrap up, we got to mention the GOAT of mixed martial arts. I'll do it for you one time here, Sonny. Khabib, the Nurmagomedov.
There you go. There you go.
The GOAT retires 29-0. I mean, a dominating second round performance. Second round submission of Justin Gaethje, just outmatched from. I mean, it looked like Gaethje was reaching for that overhand right at times, but I mean, those are just Hail Marys, hopes and prayers at that point, because Khabib just walking him down, dude, taking shots and still walking Gaethje down. Like, I'm going to eat what you're throwing me and gonna get this takedown on you. You're not stopping me, because that's what I do. And I think the performance was what it was, but really the post-match interview is what touched me, at least. I'm sure you guys were kind of similar in the sense where, Khabib's father passed away of COVID complications over the training camp. And Khabib's mother said, you shouldn't go fight without your father in your corner. And he promised his mother, this is going to be my last fight. I promise you, I'm only going to fight this fight, and then I'm done. And he says, a promise is a promise. And that's it. He's retiring. And, man, if that didn't touch your heartstrings in sports, I mean, I don't know what does. Because, I mean, I think even after the Dodgers winning the World Series, I didn't touch me almost as much as that does. It just hits a nerve as a sports fan to just know that somebody you've been watching perform in mixed martial arts as opposed to team sports, because it's more emotional. You're more invested to seeing them, because it's more of a life or death thing in mixed martial arts, in the sense where, like, there's respect, there's a discipline in it, and knowing that it is potentially life-threatening, that you are more emotionally invested in it, that it just hits you when athletes call it a career in that way. That, I mean, I respect, so much respect and so much admiration for Khabib's career and his commitment to his family and the art of mixed martial arts. Sonny, what did you think of that?
Man, it was literally like the definition of bittersweet, dude, to witness that, because, if you've been following this guy or watching his fights closely over the last decade, pretty much, let's say the last 5 years specifically, where he's just been dominating.
When he came into UFC.
Every performance, this guy, it just was beyond impressive. Every performance was class. Every performance was everything you want to see in mixed martial arts.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's detractors out there who say, yeah, but, that ground and pound style, like, is not my favorite. And I'm usually the same way, right? Yeah. I like strikers.
Yeah.
But the manner in which Khabib defeated and almost like took the manhood away from every single opponent. He snatched it, but with like as an art form.
Yeah.
Was something to behold, and something that I don't know if we'll ever see to this level again, like this consistency, because it's not like he looks like, it's not like John Jones, who looks like, this gift of a god, like, who's chiseled, and Khabib doesn't look any more impressive than your average UFC fighter, physically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So knowing that, but seeing what he does, and how he literally, the word domination is the one word that should come to your mind when you think of this fighter. seeing how he dominates is a gift to all of us who do happen to watch the sports. For instance, my wife, who could care less for the sport, like she'll watch it begrudgingly because she hates the goriness or the bloodiness of it. She's never understood it, you know, but yet she'll entertain it, and she'll watch at least an occasional main event fight. Mm-hmm. Even she was kind of like brought to tears at the end of this. Because of what I do, to my credit, to get her hyped up for it, I have her watch the pre build up, the hype video, because they work. Yeah. You know, they give you context if you don't follow these guys.
Absolutely,
often. So I try to have a tendency to like make her watch that, so she at least knows the context. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it helped that she had just watched that, and mind you, I had told her, his dad had passed away when it happened, but then to see it fresh and packaged and stuff like that, and then to see the fight happen in the manner in which it did, and then to see Khabib just break down right there, it's all these emotions you just can't help. I mean, I was somebody who, again, as I mentioned on this podcast before, I grew up playing youth sports. I was lucky enough to play for a very long time in my life, both baseball and soccer, and my pops was there for all of it, you know. So even in my amateur career after like high school sports and whatnot, like I would play in amateur leagues, and he would still show up, right? So like, I know what that means to like literally have your pops in your corner for a sport that you grew up loving and that you share this bond with. And to think, and it was one of those things as I've gotten older that I always like feared, right? I was like, man, one of these days my pops is not going to be here to see her. And it almost made me want to hang up before that happened, you know, hang up the cleats, if you will.
Yeah.
And
I got you.
So to see that play out on the highest level, right?
Yeah.
In mixed martial arts, it really just like, it was a gut punch, man, because it was like, you can't help but empathize. I mean, and you don't have to play sports with your dad. If anybody who has just a good relationship with their father can relate, you know, even if it's somebody who just listens to records with your pops, right? And it's a pastime that you guys like to do, or you like to talk about music or whatever it may be. Like anything that you get to share with your father is such a special bond, you know, as a man, if you're lucky enough to have it, hopefully, for those out there. Or your mom. Obviously, there's moms out there who play dad roles, but in this case specifically to the dad, it was heartbreaking, man. It was like, but it was bittersweet, because it was like you wanted it so bad for him, and Gaethje had no chance, man. Like he already had no chance going into this fight, just strategically speaking. He had zero chances emotionally speaking. You know, and to see Khabib go out like that was awesome, man. It's something that will live with me, you know, as long as I'm alive. So yeah, it was an awesome moment and a bittersweet night in that sense.
Donald?
Man, it's crazy how we're talking about the speech more than the fight.
Yeah.
But that's how impacting that was. It's kind of crazy, but I remember watching the speech and just realizing like, oh wow, like this literally erased whatever happened in this fight, which felt weird, right? Because they're so used to recapping how he did the submission and all that, and it's crazy, but you could tell that it wasn't just words, but there was like so much emotion and feeling behind what he was saying. And man, I mean, it was definitely a shocker to everybody. And I know this pay-per-view was during the daytime for us, so insane to hear this kind of news like during lunchtime. You know, that he's retiring and that he's doing it as a promise to his mother. Like, I mean, it's just insane to think that you know, a professional athlete would put family above, you know, his profession. And I know a lot of athletes do it, but at the same time, like, we're so used to, as fans, kind of forgetting that they have lives outside of what they do and why we love them. But it was like such an honorary thing that he did. Yeah. And I completely understood it, man. Like, I was not going to be the guy on Twitter that said, man, like, he's whack. Like, why did he do this? He needed to face, like, I don't know, GSP or something. And just kind of like, it's like, no, like, this was beyond that, man. Like, it's obvious that, you know, whatever UFC provides and whatever he would be probably doing after the fact probably wasn't going to satisfy him at this point, you know. And at the end of the day, peace of mind and happiness is just above, you know, making people happy. And that's what I felt when I heard everything he said, that like he was going to let go of doing fights for the sake of being at peace with himself and, you know, not putting his mom through something that she wouldn't want her son to go through. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That emotional strain. So, man, but it was crazy. But it's interesting that we're talking about the speech, but that was a lot more powerful to me, and that spoke to me a lot more than the actual fight. So, yeah.
What was crazy too is and it depends on what you believe here, but DC came out after the fact, and I don't know if you guys had read that he found out that apparently that Khabib did not want to put an armbar on Gaethje because Gaethje's parents were in attendance. And he didn't want to injure Gaethje to the point where it would affect his career. So he maneuvered so that he could put him in the triangle chokehold because he figured that would be less damaging to him. If that is true, now only DC or Khabib knows this.
Right.
If this it could be DC hyping up his boy, you know, in some ways.
Right, because they
same
together.
Team, right? But if it is true, it's just like, damn, this dude had the wherewithal to just be like, oh wait, let me finish you this way, like precision, precision.
But that's what the mixed martial arts world is, right?
But
like,
to do that to somebody like Gaethje is like, to do that to somebody like Gaethje who came in with, you know, all this pizzazz and
dynamite in his hands, dude, to knock you out, to put you out.
And because apparently, and to further the story, Gaethje had said in pre-fights, kept saying, I will not tap out in this. And because Khabib knew that, that's why he decided, I'm not going to put you in the armbar because it's going to literally separate your arm from your body, and that's going to do more damage to you. Because if it's true that you're not going to tap out, then the only way I'm going to beat you is by pulling your arm out of your body, basically. So he changed it up when he saw the opportunity, and he put him in the triangle choke, and just put him to sleep. Which is still kind of scary because, I mean, the brain loses oxygen at that point. I mean, it was a gaffe by the referee.
But you hope the ref gets in there quick enough to like, hey, you're asleep. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just more on Khabib here is just there was also reports that he broke his foot 2 weeks prior to the event happening.
His toe, right?
Yeah.
His toe, right?
Yeah,
is that what it was? His foot or his toe?
Yeah.
And still fought with a broken toe. I mean, didn't pull out of the fight, didn't want to stop because obviously he'd have to delay, and then again break his promise to his mom that, you know, I said I wouldn't fight, but it got delayed, so it's going to be in January or March or wherever they push it to after he recovers from the broken toe. But no, I'm going to fight on this day, and I'm going to make my promise to you and retire. And that's this whole thing where a lot of fighters tend to do this in the octagon now. Take off their gloves and just leave them in the octagon, put their gloves in the octagon and retire. And then months down the road, I mean, look at the UFC this Saturday on ESPN Plus, Anderson Silva versus Uriah Hall. I mean, how many times Anderson Silva hung up the gloves and said, I'm not going to fight anymore? But with Khabib, you know it's true. He is not going to fight again. And because his family and his religion mean so much to him, and you can believe whatever you want of religion. But this man believes in what he says. And if he made this promise to his mother, that means more to him than fighting for whatever amount of money in the octagon is being given to him, because that's what matters more, his family more than money. So I believe that we will not see him again in the octagon, that there is no, 2 years down the road, we're finally going to get that GSP or we're finally going to get that Khabib Ferguson matchup. It's just never going to happen now. Unfortunately for us UFC fight fans who always wanted that matchup, who always wanted those two potential matchups, it's just not going to happen. And I'm glad with it now because we got to see Khabib, one of the greatest mixed martial artists ever perform in the octagon for us perform. So we just need to be happy with that we saw that and saw this person grace us with their presence. I mean, and that's one thing we have to always remember with the whole NBA players and the BLM thing happening, that these are athletes, are people at the end of the day. And they are going to have their own beliefs, and we have to admire them for their athleticism, but also for the people that they are off the field, off the court, out of the octagon. And whatever their beliefs are that they have outside of that arena, they bring into that stage where they perform on, and we need to appreciate that. And you could ride or die with them, and that's great, but also just appreciate them for the people that they are. And if they believe that way, let them believe that way. You don't have to believe what they believe, but just appreciate what they believe. Just appreciate that they have a strong enough belief. And if you're strong enough in your beliefs too, that's fine. But just accept that they're different. Just accept that. And don't forget to vote. November 3rd. Don't forget to vote.
If you haven't already, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm headed to SoFi Stadium or Staples Center. I'm not sure which one, but I want to get those special LA Kings or LA Lakers I voted stickers, man. Just for that. I was going to vote anyway, but I want that cool I voted sticker because I think it's awesome. Sonny, Donald, thank you guys. As always, man. Sonny, Fox Crate podcast coming up real soon. Be sure to follow you on Instagram at the Fox Crate. When are we going to get some new episodes?
They're coming, man. They're coming. We're Primo, Rick, and I are going to be sitting down actually at the end of this week to drop some wax talk soon. So be on the lookout. Go follow at the Fox Crate. It's been a long minute in this crazy 2020 year, but we're coming back, baby. And we're gonna show some love for this podcast that is the West Box Score. So
awesome.
Stay tuned because there will be some cross talk at some point.
Snap.
That should get interesting. I mean, Primo Rick is a fellow Dodger. I know right now he's basking in. Him and I have been texting back and forth. He's just loving life right now as a Laker fan and a Dodger fan. So I'm giving him a minute to cool down, and then we'll get back to business.
Man. We got two straps, dude. We got 2 belts right now. Hell yeah, Dodger fans, Laker fans. We got them double belts.
Yep.
Donald, you loving this right now?
Yeah, man. Enjoying it, dude. 2020. This makes up for whatever we went through in 2020.
Absolutely. It's just making us stronger, man. I love it. 2021, back to back. We're bringing it back.
I love how Alex said at the beginning of the Dodgers special that, LA needed this. It was like, dude, every city needs this, bro.
I mean, but I feel like we've had it tougher after Kobe, man.
I mean the Kobe thing
was a real gut punch.
Kobe thing, I'll grant you. But then you were like, and with COVID, I was like, dude, COVID is not just in California.
I remember texting, it's for the Mamba, it's for the culture, for the city, for all of us, man. We need it. And this is for you guys listening on West Box Score. Download us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast. Rate, review us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WestBoxScore. Follow Sonny Adamano there at The Fox Crate and download his podcast, The Fox Crate Podcast. See ya.
Peace.
Later.